All right, welcome back to the Dads Against the Narrative podcast. We're glad you're here with us. This is where we talk everything going against the grain, understanding that if we are not critical thinkers, not only are we going to find ourselves entrapped by those who want to control us and move us, but we're also not going to be training our children to do the same. And so we're here to act out our lives in front of our children, thinking critically, teaching critical thinking skills so that not only are they not controlled and we're not controlled, but we're actually making the world a better place because we're putting better people into this world. So today, I'm excited to say that we have Robert Bill Jr. on, one of my best friends in the world. And so I'm glad he's here. Obviously, we've got Jack Nofel as well. And as always, I'm Nate from Dads Don't Babysit. So we're glad to have you guys here. And Robert, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm excited to be here, man. And I want to talk about your headaches.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man, I don't know. They're fewer and farther between, but even in 2024, they were like every 2 days. It's nuts.
Can I tell you why I want to talk about your headaches?
Yeah, talk to me. Let's hear
I want
it.
to talk about your headaches because I think that most of our kids are going to grow up with those kind of headaches. I'm going to tell you why. I have big time jaw and tongue tie. I can't get my tongue really to the roof of my mouth and do basic exercises, which means fun time with my wife is a lot harder for me. My tongue always gets
I'm
short.
But,
Is it that all of us? There.
Every guy was like, "Oh shoot, that's not good."
Really though, we have 3 kids. Each one of our kids have been were born with high grade lip and tongue tie. And we didn't know with Theo, so we had to wait until he was 2 to have physical surgery done, have a laser cut and stitches and all that fun stuff. We caught it with Tilly and Tucky right away and had it done immediately where they don't have to put them under. They had to put Theo under. And I was like, you can put my 4-year-old boy under. You can't do that. I love him.
Right.
He's my boy. The problem was because he had that tongue tie, he couldn't latch, which means he couldn't nurse, which means he was losing weight in the first month of life. To the point where he was peeing orange because his body was in starvation.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucked up. We have all this talk about how women can't breastfeed. A lot of talk about it. But most people won't actually look at what's going on in their kids' mouths. Lip tie, top, bottom, tongue, jaws. It's called your buckles. And if you can't actually, I can't really like flare my lips out like kissing. We make a kissy face here. I can't really get it out, which means I probably had a hard time latching too. That's why my son couldn't latch. So my wife had to use nipple shields with him. As soon as we started that, he was able to nurse. He gained his weight. He was the fattest boy ever. He was the Michelin man. Tilly, same thing. Tucky, same thing. We caught it right away. We had the surgery done, and then they were able to latch. That's a big deal. Now, my son, because of that, he couldn't sleep with his mouth closed. He couldn't do anything with his mouth closed. He's a mouth breather, which we know, breathing through the mouth initiates a sympathetic nervous system response. It's a stress response. These kids are more prone to anxiety, depression, sleep disorders, everything else that comes about because they're getting sick all the time, headaches, not being able to sleep through the night, peeing the bed, things that we assume are just normal. As soon as we had that revised with him, he was able to close his mouth. Now he breathes through his nose. That's really cool. The other thing is that once we had that done with him at around 4, his meltdowns like reduced that by, I'd say 90%. Do I know why? No, because I can't test it. But I have a theory that it's because he's in lower sympathetic activation, which means his whole nervous system is more relaxed. That's really important. 3 out of our 3 kids were born like that. 1 out of the 2 of us, my wife and I, had that. Now, that's one thing. We talked about breastfeeding. Here's the other thing. Do you guys know about Francis Pottinger? You guys know the name? No. Francis Pottinger was also an associate of Weston A. Price. You guys know the Price Foundation. Fuck, yeah, everybody knows Weston A. Price, right? Went and studied indigenous populations, figured out why dental and breathing degradation and chronic diseases were happening. Why? Because Western diet. You could see it in one generation. Francis Pottinger was, I think he was testing medicine for adrenals or kidneys. And, we can get into ethicality, what's the word? I don't know, of this, but he tested all of his stuff on cats. And he was trying to figure out why all of his cats were dying. Why couldn't they make it through the studies? And so what he did, he was friends with Weston A. Price. He put together a study, and he took 3 different groups of cats. One of them, he gave raw food only, raw meat, raw milk. The other one, he gave only pasteurized milk, boiled, all the good stuff, just killed in it, and overcooked meat. I don't remember what he gave the third one. What he saw is that within the first generation, he started to see an increased stress response in all of the cats. They became more irritable, more likely to fight with each other. They start to have dental issues. They'd even get like abscesses in their mouth and start like wearing holes into their mouth where they would bleed out of. Their teeth started to fall out. This didn't happen in the cats that were eating a raw food diet. The second generation of cats that came from the generation of cats that were eating a processed diet, they had spongy bones. So their bones were more likely to break. They also had an increased level of, it's not cortisol, but they had an increased sympathetic tone. They were much more stressed out. They were anxious. They had anxiety. They were cats with anxiety in the second generation. They were also born with mouths that were too small and nasal passages that were too small, so they couldn't breathe. They started to have breathing issues. They didn't have enough room for all their teeth. We have kids that need braces and stuff like that, right? That's interesting. This is what I saw in my kids with the ties in their mouth and their lips and their tongue. The male cats in their stature started to resemble the female cats, started to become feminized. The female cats in their stature started to resemble male cats in their musculature. Not only that, but the male cats started to become more docile. The female cats started to become more aggressive. In the first generation, it was only really the male cats that would fight with you. Female cats like, hey, whatever. Second generation, the female cats started. By the third generation, all this continued. By the third generation, the male cats got confused about who to mate with. Started trying to mount other male cats. The female cats were really aggressive. Male cats were really docile and small. And by the end of that third generation, they lost the ability to reproduce. One, because they weren't interested, but two, they couldn't carry pregnancies. The female cats didn't have wide enough hips anymore to deliver the little baby animals. So talking about your headaches, Pottinger's cats, right? How many generations are we into processed food? When is this really picked up after World War II, right?
Right, yeah.
Now we are all seeing all these issues, the skyrocketing anxiety, chronic disease, obesity. We all have these mental health issues. One of the things I saw with the nurse that was there for my son's procedure, she had chronic migraines to the point where she couldn't like get up and go to work for almost all of her life. She started working for this dentist, Dr. G, out here he's in Barrington, Illinois. And he was like, you're going to be my case study. And she's a little weird like us. She was like, okay. So he did the procedure on her, opened up her mouth because she had a small mouth, just like me. It doesn't look that small, but you don't know until you actually have somebody look at your ties. The migraines went away. They stopped altogether. And the thing is, when you're tight here, that travels down into your neck and your shoulders, where most of us are like, yeah, I feel so stressed. We get headaches. Shaggy dog story. We're all the way back now, right? I wonder if you got ties and if you found somebody to actually evaluate them and put you through that process, that would make your headaches go away. And also now we've been through the whole conspiracy of processed foods and how it's affecting.
Holy cow. I was like, dang, this is all over. And yet at the same
Mike,
well, it's funny because then I was like, now we're talking about aggressive females and docile males. And I think we're touching on all sorts of good little hits there. Yeah, it's so good. I thought you were going to tell me I wasn't able to get pregnant. And I'm like, well,
maybe
I guess that's...
you can't get pregnant. Maybe you're going to identify as a female. And I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get pregnant.
No, not getting pregnant. I'm so glad I'm a dude. That's for sure. Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, I would go find that out. So it's weird though, because I never had headaches until like 2024. But it could just be like over time, like adding tension. So there's actual real stress, there's actual real tension. Plus that's been like an overt or a covert tension as well. Could very well be, but damn, that is some serious deep shit.
It's a spiral, man. Like everything, once you get into it, you're usually like, what is all this information? It's up until COVID happened, I used to strain my neck at least once a month and then get headaches from it. And so I have to do all kinds. I showed you tissue scraping. I have to scrape my traps in my neck and my shoulders just so that I can feel normal. I also started sleeping with a neck nest, which the guy that invented it was pretty much almost paralyzed, but he had watched, what was the movie? It wasn't Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think it was Hero with Jet Li in China. Mm-hmm. And he noticed, he was like, this is historically accurate. Why do they sleep with like a 2x4 under their necks? Well, because it leads to us being anatomically neutral. And so I started sleeping with that. That also helped my headaches go away. But these are just tools to mitigate the symptoms.
Right.
They're not actually addressing the root cause. Right. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Dang. Yeah. Well,
if that didn't wake you up, I don't know what will. But Rob, we're coming right back to you because we have one question we ask everybody.
This is true. Yeah.
What is the one conspiracy that really started you down this rabbit hole of critical thinking and discernment?
It's not the moon landing, but honestly, it's Weston A. Price and Francis Pottinger's work. What that started me down this pathway sincerely, because I was a trainer, nutrition coach, holistic lifestyle coach, an actual health professional. And part of the certification process through Czech Institute is I can't just like learn how to coach somebody and go, I actually have to read these books. I actually have to read these studies and go back to, well, here's when all of this stuff started. So once I got into that, Weston A. Price's work, which we glanced over, Francis Pottinger's work, which we talked about, and industrialization of the food supply, I was like, oh, there's a whole lot that they're not telling us. And if I can just make these little tweaks for my life and in my client's life and just have them eat real food, it tends to take care of everything.
Dude.
Once I found that, I was like, what else are they lying to me about?
And what year was that?
When did I start down the Czech pathway? Probably 2016, 2017. Yeah. Right around there, right when I was dealing with my own anxiety and panic and starting to go down the breathwork pathway as well. That's when I had known these things for a while. I'd heard about them. It just like came in and I was like, oh, that's cool. But that's when I actually started reading the the studies and I was like, oh. Whoa.
There you go. I think do you go into hold on, Nate, I had to mute you. You're getting some backdrop. If you go into the food, man, it is such a deep, deep rabbit hole. And I was telling my wife yesterday, we were talking about conspiracies. I'm like, really, if someone just starts with Rockefeller, I mean, he touched almost everything from the Titanic to the airships to our food, our medicine, our education. Like, this guy was, I mean, people talk about Adolf Hitler being Antichrist, which that's a rabbit hole of itself, guys. If you're new here and you've never heard me speak on Hitler, a lot of it's lies. The winners write the narrative, remember? So
we could talk about Hitler as a Rothschild too, but keep going.
Oh, yes. I knew you and I were on the same page on a lot of this, Robert. Anyways, if you're new to conspiracies, that's where I would first tell you to go, is look at Rockefeller. Just look at what he's touched. Don't look exactly what he did and go into all the details. Just look at what one man has touched.
Yeah.
and how many people he was able to kill just with the Titanic so he could usher in the Federal Reserve. Um, but food, that has been a war. I mean, since they took the lawns and said, you know what, it's upper class for you to cut your grass and have all this nice lawn, and then residentials are just like, yeah, let's all do that and mimic that, so everyone feels like they're rich, and they're the same as the people over there in the mansions and manors and castles, even though they weren't. And they took all their gardens away. And if anyone's familiar with the founding fathers, it was mandatory that we all grow our own crops. We were even supposed to grow our own hemp because of how universal the utility of it is. And food has just continuously, from that moment, gone downhill so far and so fast. And this is a big reason, if you've heard me ever speak about the boomers, why I blame the boomers. They accepted every single thing in this world and said, oh, that's totally okay. It's good. It's good. And they've never questioned it. It was like they had no skepticism at all. Obviously, can't speak today. But
It's all right.
The cat's got my tongue, I guess. Is that where we get that saying from, Rob? So it came from his test. Anyways, I'm a big believer that food was a big part of ushering in a society that will just listen, be mind controlled, and that was just the beginning. Like, let's mess with their food, then we'll mess with the water, then we'll mess with the air, and now we just have all of it. It's like Captain Planet's attacking us, you know?
Well, look at Pottinger's study with the cats. We're more docile. There it is. Within one generation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you said it, like, you go a couple generations out, and you said it was like World War II, and that's where the move was. Like 3 generations. I mean, my grandfather was in World War II, so that's a perfect example of 3 generations. And that's where you're looking at now our children specifically. Like, I'm looking at my oldest son, he's 21. I'm like, bro, your age group has the same testosterone as 60-year-olds in 1980 when I was born. So inside of a 40-year time frame, those 2 generations, the testosterone in men has dropped so significantly that 20-year-olds are like 60-year-old men who are
it's
pretty
2.7% a year right now.
It's crazy. It's insane to me that that's the case. And I mean, I know I've talked about this with you, Jack, and it's almost like so many guys our age are like very highly, I mean, if you're going to do it natural, but like highly suggesting guys get on testosterone. I'm not a big fan of telling guys my son's age get on testosterone, but get your life together in the sense of what are you eating, what, like, get your gut right, all of these things that you need to do in order to keep your testosterone high. I mean, even the simple fact that they're like, hey, cholesterol is bad, except for the fact that cholesterol is what builds testosterone high. Now we have docile men drinking fluoridated water, and they're not eating fat. And like the guys that are in the gym, like these guys that are, I mean, he's kind of being a bro, or he's getting into the gym and he's thought about doing bodybuilding. And I'm like, not a good plan from the side of these guys are all about cutting fat and getting rid of it. And like, oh, eggs are bad. I'm like, or eggs are amazing and they carry everything you could possibly need to become a badass. And there's a reason people don't want you to have them. You know, it's like
they're like the number 1 superfood.
Yeah, exactly.
They're a non-organ replacement for organ meats.
Yeah.
That's how we figured out how to get everything my wife needed for pregnancy, because she's like, I won't eat organ meats. And I was like, I'm not going to sneak liver into your food because I don't want you to suffocate me at night.
That sounds like a conversation that Meg and I would have. She's like, don't you ever try to even sneak deer meat in. Organ meat is not happening. I'm like, yo, we could get like, I forget how they do it, but like basically the dried down liver, like just take the liver tabs.
Carnivore,
I'm like,
Aurelius.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love that guy. But it's like, same thing. She's like, don't you dare try to sneak that into my food. I will kill you. I'm like, she's like, that's a divorceable offense. And for us, we're like, she's like, there is no divorce. She's like, so I'll just figure out how to end you and then feed you to alligators.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
I got life insurance.
Yeah,
So
that's true. She'll get money for it too.
and maybe she listens to those true crime podcasts, so she'll be able to get away with it.
That's right.
right? Baby number two, my wife, we never went to the hospital. She never got any tests. She didn't take prenatals, and it was liver. We had, lots of eggs too, lots of runny eggs specifically. But my wife, she did pretty good. She ate probably a quarter size piece of liver every day. I would cook it up in butter for her, some nice grass fed butter with that liver. Woo! The babies were eating it. Man, it was good. I don't mind liver. If it's a good cut, if it's a bad cut, but I tell you what, everyone should be eating some liver.
Yeah, listen, I gotta get myself some more carnivore Aurelius dehydrated liver jerky.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say desiccated. That was the word I wanted, but like that's what I got. I got those. I was taking like 6 tabs of those a day for a while. You can get a higher volume of liver in that way too, because I would never eat that much liver. I only ever had liver one time. My mom made it when I was a kid, and I just remember like gagging on it over and over and over again. So I have a horrible gag reflex to just thinking about eating liver. I'm like, oh God, no.
But what's the conspiracy here on liver, eggs? How about all of it? We'll just take all meat and fruit against these new plant-based soy-based products. Really, is what we're getting towards. It's so much soy, and what do you think about that, Robert?
Well, at this point, is there malicious intent, or are we just stupid? Like, what is it at this point? Right. Maybe at the beginning, there was an intent to like, oh, we can control them better if we malnourish them.
Yeah.
And all the food switched from we need to eat organs. This is primarily what we eat. And you're crazy if you're going to eat all that muscle meat. You're missing out on the good stuff. We only eat muscle meat and like, oh no, those organs are they're icky. Don't eat them. Malnourished now. And so we're missing out on all that, not just for ourselves, but for our kids. But then with the alternative meats thing, one, don't you just want to be a vegetarian and vegan? Like, just eat that shit. Like, why do you need it? Stop playing games.
Right?
My wife was vegetarian for a while, and she's like, that first burger that I had was the greatest thing.
Dude, I was vegan for 2 years.
I was vegan for 4.
Crazy.
I never went down the pathway.
Well, good.
Come on. Guys.
All right, so that's a great question because I felt the same way, and I think it does a couple things, and I'll tell you why I came back, and I want to hear your story on that, Jack. So I went vegan, and I went to the side of I'm not going to eat the processed stuff. I actually was in this like vegan Facebook group. I joined, and all these people were talking about the vegan cheese and vegan this and vegan that, but it was all shit, and I'm going, and so I typed in and I was like, hey, isn't this just as bad to eat all this stuff that's not I can't even pronounce some of it, like isn't this like just as unhealthy? Dude, you'd have thought I said, hey, I know we're vegans, but let's cut open some lamb and wear their wool as our own skin. That's what you'd have thought I said, because they were like, it's about the animals. And I'm realizing how it puts people on a moral high ground, and obviously we know where that takes you, but they were so like, oh, well, we're better than everybody because we're not killing animals, that I was like, oh, this is not the group for me, because I was trying to do it to be healthy. And so I didn't do any of I would say I didn't do it very often, but if people were like, hey, let's have burgers, I was like, well, I can do not an Impossible, but it was something else, Beyond Meat. Anyway, like either way, dude, horrible stuff you're putting in your body unless you actually just eat the food. I will say it caused me to think about the food I was eating whenever I was where I was, which is what I liked. It made me think about what am I putting in my body and what is it doing to my body? But that's also why I didn't eat a bunch of the crap that they were making with all the soy and or whatever else. But I will tell you, dude, the thing that brought me back is I saw a video where a guy said that is the next level of governmental control, because if you do not eat animal, then you have to grow everything, and that takes time. And if they decimate everything, then they can decide what you eat, when you eat it, and how you eat it. And I looked at my wife and I was like, fuck that. I'm going to start killing my own animals. And she goes, you can't shift out of like fifth gear to reverse, like drops the transmission out of everything. She's like, I can't handle you going from vegan, which I hated. She hated it, all the way to shooting animals to like eat their organs and all that. Like, she's like, you can't do that to me. I'm going to go crazy. But yeah, man, it was honestly the control for me. The moment I heard that one guy say it, I was like, holy shit. I will never be in that position to be controlled that way. And I went back to eating meat so that it didn't matter to me.
Well, see, unlike you, Nate, I was very virtuous, and I would make sure every motherfucker knew as I walked by I was vegan. I'm better than you. Look at this Beyond Burger meat.
Look at me, I'm straight edge.
Yeah, right.
I would make meatloaf with 2 fucking Beyond Beef patties, bro. It was disgusting. It was absolutely. Oh, I was out of control. But I would preach it to my soldiers because I was still in the military. And we went that way because my wife was in school for her epigenetics degree. And she was, her leader or professor was this nice Zionist woman who, only her way is the right way. And that ended very badly. I mean, my wife graduated, but it was, that lady was crazy. So those 2 years she was in that degree, I went with her and went vegan. And then we were living in Seattle at the time. And I remember I went to a farm and they had like one last batch of eggs. They're like, hey, we need to get rid of these. Blah, blah, blah. Here, take some fresh eggs. And we have 2 patties of our last cow that was just taken care of and sold. And so I'm like, I'm vegan. They're like, you can't turn this down. You need to take it. It's your last person, blah, blah. It was like God was just telling me, like, dude, you're on the I'm not even joking. And seriously, it was like, how would this happen? How would I be at a farm and be the only person that just gets all the end of their stuff because they were getting ready for the next season, which was, I think, it was coming into pumpkins. So they, like, that farm did pumpkins and rotated them. And for like Christmas then. This farm was very popular where I lived. And I took it home. Told Mom, like, I can't throw this out. I'm going to eat some of these eggs in the morning. And I remember eating 2 eggs. My body was just like, oh, I feel like a man. Fuck yeah, I'm back. And I thought it was literally those 2 eggs. I never looked back. I said, no, that diet's done for me. All of the cheese. I thought the same thing. Where we taught, what was Simone taught in epigenetics is that you should not be eating anything with more than 10 ingredients in it. Simone's a big believer in it, and she lives by that. But when you look at all the vegan food, it all has more than 10 ingredients of shit we can't pronounce, like you were saying. And so she jumped board with me the first day. She's like, all right, let me try 1 egg. I think it was the very next day, actually. She's like, let me try an egg. And she took it. She's like, yeah, my body feels better. I'm like, I know, right? So we never went back. And now we preach mostly meat and fruit. That's what we eat. But we just left the tropical area, and now we're up in the mountains, where we don't have abundance of fruit, guys. So I do have a papaya tree, 3 papaya trees in my backyard and lime trees, but it's not like living by Cancun and Quintana Roo where it's like papaya trees are everywhere and you can just go down the street and pull them off the tree. So here it's your apples, oranges, bananas, but you know what? We still eat fruit. And I've heard Robert, do you know the conspiracy of bananas?
No, tell me about it.
Dude, I just heard this. Oh, go. Yeah, do it.
No, I'm trying to remember. I just saw it for the first time. That's why I was hoping he knew it. What did you see?
Wait.
So
never eat the bananas.
Yeah.
I only eat the bananas first. So is that it?
Okay, no.
Okay.
It's better than what I'm going to give because I don't remember. I was hoping you remember.
No, it's okay. So what I read recently was that I think it's Israeli doctors haven't eaten bananas in years because at the ports they spray them, and it's not just in Israel. They spray them with something that seeps through into the banana itself. And I don't remember, and I read it and was like, holy shit. And then like yelled to my wife, like, you got to stop buying bananas, that kind of thing. But it's like whatever they spray them with seeps in through the peel and goes into the banana. And then you're eating this like chemical laden, even though you think you're eating something healthy, you're eating this chemical laden, basically that's all it is at that point, it's chemicals. I mean, I'd have to look at it and we'll have to like bring it back up and talk about it. But I do remember specifically that one said that Israeli doctors found it And like most Israeli doctors are like, yeah, nobody eats bananas here because of what the chemicals are getting in it.
Once you said Israel, it was already over. I'm gonna go buy more bananas actually because like whatever they're gonna say, they were all in on COVID. They were like, yeah, everyone get your shot. Everyone's gonna be gay here, all right? Welcome to Israel. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah, for real. Shoot.
All right, I want one more thing that I wanted to bring up while you're here, Robert, specifically for you. And it was my great wife who actually brought up. She's like, you know who the best man to bring this up to is? Robert Bill.
Mm.
All right, we're gonna see if my wife was right or not.
Well, I hope I live up
Dude,
to
that's yeah, for real. I'm nervous for you, Rob.
You know, they're from the same area. They're both from like the Schaumburg area of Illinois. So
Chicago.
my wife always is like Robert. So here's what she said. See if what you know about the rabbit hole of feminism. And I'm a big believer that feminism's caused more problems in our world than, I mean, it's up there with Rockefeller, but he kind of pushed the beginning narrative.
I mean, like I got this article up on my computer right now. Marxist roots and feminism. Right? I'm not the guy to talk to about this. You want to talk to Elliot. You want to talk to Elliot Hulse, but I'm gonna paraphrase.
There you go.
what my man Elliot told me is that feminism has its roots in the Marxist and communist movement. And really, 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 if you want to kill something, you sever the head. And if we want to take over the United States of America, you sever the head. And what are the most important heads in the United States? It's the father, the family. So what do we do if we want to take over the United States? We take them over at the roots. We take them over at the family. First, with removing the power of the masculine within the household of the father. We make him docile, just like Pottinger's cats. Maybe there's a link there. I don't know. What else? And you can actually, I can't remember the name of the person that wrote this, that said this. I have it in my podcast with Elliot. I have the name in there. I have to look in my notes. But what else? Who else is the father? Especially in the United States, God, the father. So we destroy religion as well. So what do? We destroy religion. We destroy the family unit as a whole, and then the nuclear family as well. We remove the power source. What happens then? Well, society starts to crumble. We can also talk about other problems with feminism, going all the way back to the Industrial Revolution. Maybe it was intentional to conspire us to breed together. Maybe people breathed together on this. But as soon as dad was removed from the home, the master for the little apprentices, our kids, wasn't there anymore. That's a problem. Our kids don't have dad around. And we know that just having a father figure that's present in the home leads to so many improvements for them. The other thing is that Industrial Revolution, oh, well, everything that mom did in the home, well, now that was provided through industry. There goes the value of the feminine within the home. What they cite as being the patriarchy, we didn't value the feminine. No, we fucking did. She was just as valuable as us. We couldn't do the things that our queens did inside the home to keep everything running. But with industry, well, it wasn't important anymore. So that removed the quote unquote value of the feminine. The patriarchy, which any father, so Zeus energy in Greece is father energy. Father energy is chief energy. A chief is elected by the entire tribe. He doesn't seize power. They choose him. They say, here, please, we want to entrust you with our best interests. We want to trust you with our hearts. And as soon as the Zeus or the chief no longer holds the best interests and the hearts of those who he is leading in his mind and in his heart, he is no longer the chief. He's no longer the king. That's always what the father has been. That's always what patriarchy before this modern usage of the word has been, until it became twisted. And when did it become twisted? Well, probably with the Marxist movement, probably with the conspiracy of trying to take over American culture with that shit. And when did women lose their importance, quote unquote importance? My wife is so fucking important to me. Well, Industrial Revolution. She didn't contribute the same way that she always did. That's the issue. It's not some overarching like ghoul of patriarchy that's always been here pulling the strings. Like, no, we fucked up. We fucked up.
We allowed it.
We took dad out of the home. We ruined the value that the woman was providing in the home, our queens. And then everything started to fall apart. And then this little insidious thing crept in, and it was like, hey, we can take this further. Because now the father's the head of the family, is just a figurehead. Well, let's chop that off. Let's remove God the Father as well. Let's take religion out. And now we have everything that we want. And then we bring in Pottinger's cats. We're going to bring that back. And look where we are, guys. That's my theory anyway.
No,
inspired by Elliot.
I agree a lot. I think that, it was a slow process from like World War II, when they're all of a sudden they hired in the women to take over the industries, and they brought them in as nurses, and then women were like, oh, this is great. I'm outside the house. I'm not by the kids. And then they preached like, oh yeah, you are important at work. We need you. And when the dads came back with their shell shock, right? Because back then it wasn't PTSD. It was just shell shock and get the fuck over, man up.
What did the Vikings had a name for it? Dalstray there, or something like that, which means I think it's like a spiritual death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that for sure. And then you have like all the women that just came in when this like came to the close, and women were just coming back to the house. What happened? The feminist movement just erupted. It was the late 50s, and then came into the 60s, and right, we know exactly what happened then. But who started that second feminist movement? And that is known as the second feminist movement. In case people don't know, the Industrial Revolution is the very first feminist movement that people are not really educated with, I guess, because it's not much spoken about. It's more about the second part, where women rose up. But who were the women, and who was in charge? It wasn't a woman in charge. That's the funny part. And if you know me, I like to blame certain people all the time, and it was exactly the same people I blame always. It was a Zionist who started the feminist movement. And you can look this up. Anyone can look this up. It was a male from Israel that started it, who moved to the United States and said, here's another way that we can remove the family, and we can separate the family, and we can manipulate the family. I mean, and then what happened in the 80s? The 80s, we have fluoride just rushing in. It's okay. But fluoride was used for something totally different. And it's the same thing. If you know anything about fluoride and Listerine kind of go hand in hand. Listerine was also for machinery, which I'm not going to lie, Listerine does the job.
Cleaning floors, man.
Yeah.
Cleaning floors.
Clean the floors, man. And a great job. I mean, it cleans my teeth really well. And I feel like I'm breathing fire, because literally are.
Yeah. It's like Pine Sol. Just throw it down, use it for whatever. It'll kill everything.
It's true.
Then we get to, okay, women's value has been removed. They've been told it's this invisible enemy. They've tasted this. Oh, well, I can have my value, my worth through going to work, and that's fine. Like, you have the right to do that. But now to the point where you want to be a stay-at-home mom, that's terrible. You like kids, that's terrible. You want to have kids? No, you need to go have a career. That's the only thing that should be important to you. Well, no wonder it's easy to fall prey to that. And no wonder we have so many men that are just like sitting back passive, playing video games in their parents' basement.
Dude.
We had everything. We won it all. We had peak civilization. And then we went through this whole process that we just talked about. And the women were like, wow, we kind of want this authority that you have. And I love my woman. I want to provide her with whatever she wants. Okay, like, yeah, come in, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Be just like us. Let's go. Let's see how you like it. I love you. What do you need? Okay, let me provide that for you. And now we're sitting down and they have all the power. I don't know, all the power. Let's
All the
be
oh
careful
yeah.
with that story. They have so much power. And I truly believe that we are in a matriarchy right now in the United States. Toxic matriarchy, child caring. We treat everyone as a little baby. Oh, we need to take care of you. Poor you. We need to protect you. That's matriarchy. That is the shadow feminine right there. And
Mm-hmm.
well, as men, we're like, well, maybe I was toxic. Maybe I was abusive. Well, oh, shit. I definitely don't want to do that. Let me just shut up. But I
Mm-hmm.
can't hurt anybody and
Where
I'm
did
just
that
not
come
do
from?
anything.
That was a psyop by CIA. That's the innocent bystander psyop. If you don't know that, that's a
Yeah.
big push on men specifically, especially positive role model men.
Dude, my wife and I were literally just talking about this today. She said, you know, what bothers me so much because she stays at home. We have like I'm the income breadwinner guy, and I do that for our family, and she cares for the family, right? And she's like, you know, I really want to come up with an understandable way to look at someone who asks what I do or asks if I work outside the home. She's like, I really want to make them feel stupid for asking me that. I love her attitude about it because she's like, because she's like, I'm a fucking badass woman. I am so uber feminine and I love being a mom and being in the home and caring for the home. She's like, I don't want to say it with like work language. I don't want to be like, I'm the CEO of our house. She's like, that is stupid to me. She's like, I don't want to be a CEO. I'm a mom and that's fucking awesome. And I've told her, I'm like, you're going against all of the training and all of the programming you've had your entire fucking life to do exactly that. She's like, yeah, I've got to sit down and think of a way to answer that question. What do you do? Or do you work outside the house? To make people be like, oh, wow, I should never ask anyone that ever again because the expectation should be so high that a mom or a woman who is married and has children is with her children. I'm like, babe, you know how I feel about this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the number one thing that's necessary. I'm like, you're creating the next generation and you're programming the next generation to literally how they're going to think. Oh my god, that's such a huge deal. That's what's happening on the younger side of things now. In our opinion, like in our family, I'm like, okay, and then the boys hit about 9, 10, and obviously they roll with me even when they're little, but 9 or 10 we start being like, okay, like you have to start doing things. Men have to do things differently, so you're going to be with me a lot more because what's required of you in this world is so much different, and you don't need the safety of mama, you need the risk of dad, and that's like we're like she's working through that part too because she's like, I don't know how to let go of that, but I love it where her head's at. This is literally the conversation we had this morning.
You know,
Yeah,
one
it's
thing.
what do you do? Oh, I'm raising lions.
Yeah, I'm
Raising lions.
yeah,
There is
actually, absolutely.
nothing more important in my life than this short period of time that I get with my kids.
Yeah,
What else would I be doing? What else would I be doing?
yeah,
Would I be working for some other man and sending my kids to some other woman to take care of?
there it
Would you
is.
rather me do that? No. I'm going to stay with my kids. I get to be the one that teaches them. My man gets to be the one that provides that for them, not some other dude. All my efforts go into my family.
Mm-hmm.
I get them for 18 years. And I got the rest of my life after that. You want me
Yeah,
to whittle that away for some title
or
and say like,
some
oh,
paycheck.
yeah, I'm a CEO. Oh, that's so important. Let me go out day drinking with my girlfriends and get drunk on the weekends with my girlfriends because I hate my husband because I never see him and my kids drive me nuts because I only see him for an hour a day and I'm too stressed out to be able to handle their emotions.
Yeah, and I don't like who they're
Fuck
becoming
that.
because I'm letting somebody else raise them because I've outsourced every single thing in my life that's actually important.
Yeah, dude,
That
my wife and I, we've ran into people now, um, especially in the last town we were at. You'd meet some people who are like, oh, we're unschoolers, we're handoff unschoolers. We'd say, well, what's that mean? Because we're also unschoolers, and I wouldn't say we're hands off. I'm very hands on with my kids. If you've ever watched any of my videos or just know who I am as a man, like I fuck my kids up. If they fuck up, then we're all getting down and doing burpees, the whole fucking family. And my son fucks up big time. He's doing burpees all by himself. And he's busted out 200, 250 in a day before. But my wife, she will be so fast to jump on people, especially now that she like mastered the Kundalini art, right, of activation and womb care. Like that is her shit that she does now. Awesome. And in the last city, she was the womb care specialist that everyone came to. That's why she was so
awesome.
busy. She's trying to rebuild that brand here in San Miguel, but she'll tell women how it is now, and it's awesome to listen to because my wife's 31 and I'm 44, so it's different. In your 40s, you don't give a shit, especially for a young woman to speak the truth. Like I remember there'd be times we'd be hiking and someone would say something to us during COVID, like you don't have a mask on, blah blah blah, and my wife's like, 2 minutes after they walk down, she says something perfect. I'm like, why didn't you say that shit to them, huh? You never had like the tongue to go right with it right then and there, but now it matches and it is fire. Every time she's put a woman in her place, I'm right there. I'm like, fuck yeah, exactly what you need to do. And that's what we need. We need women speaking up. There's no more innocent bystander. This is a spiritual war, and if you want to partake, well, you get no choice. You're in the fucking war, so you are partaking. That's the trick question. It's not a choice. You are in the war. Stand up, speak the truth, and speak the truth that you really know. And when you start doing that and you watch people cowardice really quick and bow down to you a little bit, like, oh, I didn't really mean it that way. I didn't yeah, because you're a fucking idiot. You have no evidence-based research knowledge, ability at all inside of your fucking little skull. You're an NPC that just mimics and mocks everybody that the news mocks and mimics. Mm-hmm. You're just a recording, dude. Shut the fuck up. And that's where it got for her finally. And I love it because I believe women, moms specifically, especially moms that are like our three wives, they need to speak up and tell people the truth because these are the women that are leading the kids to the next generation. This next generation is going to be fire because we have men like us and they have their moms. They have both. They have the feminine and masculine perfectly matched out. Bro, can you imagine if we got that? Dude. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why I love you guys. It's because it's like you look at your families and it's like, yes, that's how it's supposed to be. And none of us do it the same. We all do it in little different pieces. There's no masterpiece. And that's what people try to make. Like, I'm a working woman. I'm making 6 figures. I'm doing this, and I have 5 degrees. Cool. Those are your accolades. Who are you? I don't get to hear your accolades. Oh, you were a college sports star too? Cool. Who are you? Oh, you're a person who cares about their work, kissing ass for the corporations. Go take your kids to the medical institutions, or the educational institutions, the medical factories that turn them sick. And it's like all you are is a pawn. You're a pawn that went to college and got $300,000 in debt, and now you think you're with the bee's knees. Doctors are the number one person like this. You hear a doctor speak. I worked with doctors for so long, and you're like, dude, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, literally, you've been in school for 8 years and you've never even seen the real world. Instead, you just memorized all this BS that Rockefeller told you to memorize. You didn't even go outside the box to look into anything holistic or naturopathy or any of it. And instead, you are just a puppet. It's 1984 all over. I mean, it's literally written all over the place. Like, dude, moms, wake up. We need you. Us hardcore dads want you to step up and speak up because I tell you what, when my wife speaks up, it turns me on. I'm like, oh, shit, girl. Let's go.
Right? I told Meg the same thing. I'm like, it's so hot when she is, and I've said this to Rob before, when she is feminine and she calls to the masculine in me by even calling me out on shit. Like, she's like, whoa, you're supposed to be the man. Like, you do this, right? And I've got guys like you guys around that are also pushing me that way. Just by the way you live. You don't have to be like, Nate, you need to do this. It's just by the way you live. And I'm like, it's so damn hot when she's as feminine as she's been made to be. Like, there's nothing hotter, and it sounds so crazy. There's nothing hotter than her, like, nursing a kid. She's like, this is so weird. And I'm like, no, it's fucking hot. I love it. You are being so womanly. I fucking love it. And I know we got to, like, wrap it up. And I hate that because we get into this stuff, and I'm like, oh, we could go for hours. But I know we gotta let Rob go here, man. I know you got some other places you gotta be. So I'm so glad we started this conversation. We are definitely gonna have to keep going. at some point here, just to keep the conversation going. Obviously, I want to hear what you have to say to close out, Robert. But I also want to say, anybody who's listening, wants you to just write in, comment down below on the YouTube, and say your piece as well. We'd love to interact with you guys and hear what you have to say as well. Robert, why don't you close us out? I know you got to bail, so close us out. And tell us your final thoughts, my man.
On that, we're each inhabiting this third stage of masculine and our wives' third stage of feminine. Not just hard to kill and dominating, not just easy to love and passive and go with the flow as men. Like, we have the skill set of both, and we're moving forward with that. Both hard to kill, easy to love, able to switch back and forth, shift gears when necessary with children, or like, hey, I need to fuck this guy up in jiu-jitsu, or lead my business, or lead in my family, do hard things. And of course, when my wife does feminine things, I'm like, hell yes. Or she asks me, hey, I'd love for you to lead us in prayer each night. And I'm like, here we go. It's the Zeus energy that I was talking about. We're not just here. We just don't just have it. It's given to us. And we've abdicated our responsibilities for so long. And so we've also abdicated that leadership. But as we step into responsibility, the ability to respond, and we take action, we hone ourselves into the men that we need to be, more often than not, that responsibility will be given back to us, that leadership. And she says, I would really like to dance. And you're like, let's go, babe. I got you. Let me lead you. And It turns me on so much when you relax out of your masculine and you let me lead. I'm here. I'll close with that, guys.
Awesome, man. Robert, thanks so much for being here, dude.